welcome. I cannot believe that it is day 5, like already. It feels like we just started yesterday. Welcome. I still have never been able to figure out how to see the comments during the live video. I'm just playing with Facebook now to see if I can see it. Nope, I still don't see comments, but it's okay. Well, welcome. If you have been with me on this 5-day journey, I say kudos to you. If you're catching the first one today, no worries. You're exactly where you should be. You can always go back and watch the previous 4 videos. But I'm so excited and sad at the same time that this is coming to an end. And I've had such a good time that I think I'm going to be doing more of these. Maybe I'll show up weekly in the group and just catch up with all of you. Okay, so for today we're going to be talking about how to move forward, like the 3-date rule that helps you decide if this is somebody that you want to progress with. So let's just do a quick recap on what we've talked about over the last 4 days. So day 1, we talked about everything mindset. We talked about your limiting beliefs and how you can start to shift that and make sure that you're operating from your authentic true self, your higher self that is ready to attract your dream man into your life. And then on day 2, we talked about your ideal man list and how you can create, not just from the chemistry layer, but from the compatibility and also from the conscious alignment layer, because at this point in our lives, we want to be able to attract a man that aligns with us at the highest level of ourselves. And then on day 3, we started to talk about dating apps, because I love the dating apps, and I was telling you how you can build an irresistible profile, a magnetic profile that will magnetize high value men towards your profile and will repel, very important, will repel low effort, low value men so that you don't waste your time on those ones. And then yesterday, we talked about how my secret weapon of how to transition from the dating apps to in-person date, because pen paling is just hell. I don't know about you, I hate it. Like, leave me out of that crap. So yesterday I taught you how you can quickly transition after just 3 to 5 messages, and you quickly transition into an in-person phone call, video call, or even a date. But the goal is always 1 to 2 days to 3 days, maximum 72 hours. You should have an in-person date planned. So that's what we've covered over the last 4 days. Seems like a lot. Like, those 4 days alone probably took me like 4 years to learn. When I say learn, I kept making mistakes, I kept falling off. But the goal is, don't be hard on yourself. Like, if you mess up, it's okay. 7 billion people on this planet, or 8 billion now. Like, there's a lot of people. So just go back out there and do better next time. Okay, so those were the first 4 days, and today we're on day 5. And day 5, this is what I call the real test. This is the real test of how do you know? How do you know if he's really worth your time? How do you know whether you should move forward after going on 1 date with this person? When I started online dating, what feels like a century ago, I used to go on many dates. Like, because first of all, I was just swiping on anything. Mostly chemistry, mostly people I was physically attracted to, but I used to go on many dates. And when I'll be on this date, I'll be like, oh, I know that I would just know, right? I think how many of us have heard that story, or we've seen it in the movies where it's like, oh, I'll just know, just have the butterflies in my stomach, and I would just know, I would just feel something and just know that he's the one. Okay, there's more to a person being a suitable partner for you than just butterflies in your belly, okay? And so the question was always, well, how do I know that this is actually somebody? Because I'd feel the butterflies, and then guess what? He'll probably still ghost me, or then I'd attract those kind of people that needed fixing, needed a mother, needed a therapist, right? And they just weren't the people who were actually right for me. And the problem with those butterflies was, I would, like, right from the first date, you should be assessing for green flags, but also red flags, because again, you do have your list. So that's your navigation, right? You should be able to just do a quick assessment, do a quick scan of, are they aligned with what it is I'm looking for, and are there any green flags that I can pursue, move forward with, or red flags where it's just like, okay, my compass is a little bit off now, and maybe it's time to run. So for me, I was ignoring all the red flags because, geez, I was super attracted. I had the butterflies in my belly, right? Yeah, kept ignoring the red flags. Even when they would mess up, I would give them multiple chances, right? Even when they would disappear, they would breadcrumb me. I would just give many chances. These men were inconsistent. They would do the whole "what you doing, what you up to," and then disappear for like a week. And I hear things like, "Oh, let's just see where things go," and I will keep hanging on, right? So what that led to was I kept ending up in relationships where I knew they were not good enough, but I had to convince myself they were good enough. And when you try to convince yourself they're good enough, you keep pouring into it, you keep doing more, you keep thinking, oh, if only I just did XYZ, then he will love me and choose me. No. No, we've got the receipts for that one. Okay, so I created what I call my 3-date framework. And I feel a 3 because I think 3 is a good enough number to be able to assess people enough, right? Like I said yesterday, some people on the first date, they're not necessarily in their best, um, it's awkward, they're shy or whatever, right? So let's not judge by just the first date, but there's certain things, and I'll touch on that, certain things that have to happen on the first date for you to know if you want to see them again, right? So the moment I created this 3-date rule, like life became easier for me. The same way with the transition into offline dating, in-person dating, like life dating just became fun, right? So now I stopped wasting time on the wrong men. Right after 3 days, I kind of know it's a no. Sometimes after the first date, it's like a bye, see you later, regardless of the butterflies, for big red flags, right? But usually I'd give you 2 dates at least. And then with this framework, I now knew exactly what I needed to be looking out for. And now with me focusing more on conscious alignment, even better, because now I know exactly what I'm looking for, right? And that way I'm not dating from a place of pick me, choose me, anybody please, anybody, do you want me? No, it was more of I know what my intention is. I'm confident. I have my list. I know what I'm looking out for, and I'm going to stick to it. If somebody shows me who they are, I will accept it and keep it moving because there's no scarcity. It is only an abundance of amazing men out there. So let's get into this whole 3-date framework and what does it mean? Right? Well, what it means is that now you're going to be choosing based on clarity. You're no longer guessing. You're no longer wondering, are the butterflies enough? But he's so cute. Maybe he was having an off day. No, you kind of just know what to look out for, how to assess the dates, and you can just quickly move on. Okay? So date number 1, we talked about that yesterday. So this is a light. This is a friendly date. Nothing too heavy. But again, you're showing up as your best self because, hey, we always put our best foot forward. And so at this point, like I said, at the bottom of the pyramid, chemistry is so important because if you're not attracted to the person, it's difficult. It's difficult to be with somebody long term if you're not attracted to the person. So at this point, you're really just checking for, am I attracted to this person? Is there a spark, right? What kind of energy, what kind of vibe am I feeling with this person? You want there to be that natural attraction to them. So on the date, make sure you're asking yourself, how do I feel around them? Because energy, if you pay attention to it, it reveals a lot about what's going on, right? So your eyes may be telling you something different, like, oh my God, he's so hot, I just want to strip his clothes off. But if you pay attention to the energy and be like, well, how do I feel around him? Do I feel anxious? Do I feel like I'm on a show, I need to display myself, I need to auction myself? Or do I feel comfortable and relaxed? How does he, what is his energy around you? Because you want to pay attention to how they make you feel, right? And then, how is the conversation, right? Is it flowing easily? Again, a bit of a caveat. Not everybody is able to just flow on the first date, right? But at least to some extent, you want him to be comfortable enough to have some level of conversation because oh, you're just sitting there like it was just sipping on a drink and then what? Right, so think about how the conversation is going. Does it feel just natural, like you just go with the flow and he's able to pick up different topics and he's interested, he's engaging? Remember, you have to be interested in him. So is he giving you things to be interested about, right? Or does it feel awkward? Does it feel forced? Does it feel inauthentic? You want to pay attention to that as well. You want it to feel light, but also authentic, okay? And then, like I said, yesterday we talked about the chemistry, the physical, and we're creating our man list. So how does he carry himself, right? How is he treating others? That's always a big telltale sign. Not how he's treating you. He's treating you nice because obviously he wants something from you. But how is he also treating other people, right? So again, back to this energy. Just observe. Observe how he is around people, the waiters, other people sitting on the next table. Just kind of observe that. So that's kind of what you do on the first date. right? You can ask them certain questions around what it is that they're looking for. I always say just get that on the table quickly. You should have had that on the phone call, just so that you're sure that you want the same things at a very high level. If somebody says I'm just going with the flow, or let's see what happens, just keep it moving. Um, so hopefully you've established that. But if you haven't, then the first date is a good time to make sure that you establish what it is that they're looking for, what their idea of a relationship looks like. Like what do they wake up to every day? What kind of things would they want to do in a relationship? So make sure that you get that out of the way pretty quickly, and know that yes, okay, there's enough to build on, there's enough to go a bit deeper, to see if our lives can actually integrate. So what are some red flags? Men love to talk about themselves, all men, but the really good men also want to talk about you. So even if they talked about themselves, they will flip you back and say, okay, so what about you? Tell me about this particular. If he's just talked about what he does or where he's traveled to or whatever it is, he would also flip it and say, so now you tell me where you've been, what are your favorite things to do, and all of that stuff. So he's not just focused on him showing off himself, which again, men love to talk about themselves, but he's also involving in the conversation, right? But if it's purely 100% one way and he's just bragging about who he is, that's not a good starting point, right? And then, like I was talking about the energy, like if something feels really off to you, like if you're getting this uneasy feeling around him, you're not able to really lean back and relax, that's not necessarily a good sign, right? Or if you see bad behavior where he's rude to somebody else, or he looks at people a certain way, or he makes some comments focusing more on just the negative the world, doom and gloom, victim mindset, that's also not a great thing. If he focuses on his ex and talking how bad his ex was and how women are this, women are that, not a good sign too. So those are like some big red flags that you should look out for. On the flip side of that, another red flag which a lot of women fail to notice is the love bombing. I'm not gonna lie, I've been guilty of being love bombed so many times, and there's just something. It can be very flattering. Like sometimes you're not able to tell, is he love bombing me or is he just so excited about me? I usually get a lot of guys who are anxious attachment style, so they usually love bomb because now they're like, oh shit, I don't want to lose her. I want to make sure that she knows I'm interested, so they start to love bomb. So just be cautious of that and make sure that you're also not enabling that. But if he's trying to say, let's get married tomorrow, or I want you to meet my family like right now, or then again, that's love bombing. It's a bit too much, so just try to slow it down. And there's ways you can just say, haha, wouldn't that be lovely? But I just met you. How about we get through the first couple of dates and a relationship, and then we can see if we can go on vacation together. Like there's ways you can just turn it around, so that again you're not being rude, but you're just observing, right? And these are data points for you to be able to make an informed decision later on whether this is something you want to move forward with, or if the red flags are just a little bit too much, and you want to say your goodbyes. Another red flag that I will say after a first date is if he doesn't check up on you after the date. Like, I'm sorry. Some people might say it's not a big deal. It's a freaking big deal. Especially if you drove yourself and it was at night. If he doesn't call to check to make sure that you got home safely, that's a huge one for me. That's really, really a huge one. That's right up there with him bad mouthing his ex. So those are just some things for date one. The whole purpose of date one is really just to check his vibe, to see whether there's any potential to proceed with, to see if his energy is okay, to see what his attitude is like, to see that, to get a sense of, yeah, he's picked the date, he's planned the date, so now you're seeing what kind of dates he can plan, where he picked for you to go to. You see if he put in any effort at all. Like some people will offer to come and pick you up. Like you're just observing at a very high level, not in depth, who this man is and whether you vibe with him, whether there's some level of attraction. So that's really the goal of the first date. So that's date number one. So if you feel like, okay, minimum red flags, or maybe none at all, lots of green flags, it's exciting, he made me laugh, he made me smile, good, you might want to move on to date number two. Most guys will plan date number two right at the end of date number one, or some will wait till you get home and they're going to check up on you, like, I'd love to see you again. And at that point, you can say, well, I'm available on Friday or the next month, whatever it is. Don't give it some gap, because it's very important. Like, men fall in love when there's a space. Don't try to meet up with them the next day. So give it some time, give it some gap. And you might be saying, okay, so what happens between the gap? Well, between the gap, you limit the phone calls as well. I know it's starting to sound like you're playing a game, but you're not. The reason why you limit the phone call is because sometimes we get carried away. So you start, again, remember the goal is to be magnetic and mysterious until you're his girlfriend, until you're official. And so if you're giving everything away, you're checking up on him every 15 minutes, you're telling him how your day is going, everything you saw, I just saw an ant, I just saw a fly, I just saw it, but he's going to get bored. You're overwhelming him with too much of you. He's going to get bored because now there's no more mystery, right? Men thrive when they feel like they still don't know you. They feel like, I want to know more. 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 So between your first date and your second date, you can have a couple of conversations, you can have a couple of text messages, but if you find that you're not getting on the phone for an hour, 2 hours, that's a no-no. Not yet. Calm down. Slow it down. There's no rush. Remember, you're trying to build a long-term relationship. You're not just trying to rush everything and then before you know it, it fizzles out and it's all over. Okay, so that's date number one. Let's jump into date number two. So date number two, now you've met him the first time, everybody's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit calmer. Maybe you've had one or two conversations over the phone, not too much, not too deep. Now you need to be checking on things to do with the compatibility. So we're now heading into the middle layer. So now you're looking at what his values are. You're looking at what if he has kids, what are the dynamics with his ex, in terms of raising the kid, what his worldview is, what his money views is with mindset. Again, you're not going to ask him those questions directly. You're going to, if you join my community, I do have I think it's 50 meaningful conversations that you can start to ask on the first and second date so that you can dive deeper into some of these things to be able to assess whether your values align. Because at this point now, remember the whole goal of this date is for you to assess whether this is somebody that you want to proceed with. And when I say proceed with, it doesn't mean you're going to be his girlfriend right away. It just means you're going to invest your time and your effort to get to know them better till a point in time where you can make a fully informed decision. Okay? So at this point, date number two, you're now checking his communication style. You're saying, okay, how does he handle conflict? How does he spend his weekends? Like, what is an exciting time for him, right? What are his beliefs? What's, if you're spiritual, if you're religious, what are some of those things that because you know you're manless, right? So you're checking to see, okay, are we aligned on some of these things? What are his big life goals? What are his dreams? If he could do anything in the world and did not need money, like what would he do? You need to be checking those things to make sure that they align with what it is that you're looking for. And you also want to make sure that he's showing deep interest in you. Like if on date number two he's all about the physical, oh my god, I can't wait to, that's not a good sign, that's a red flag, right? If he's not willing to be a little bit more vulnerable, and that's something I teach as well, like how to create a safe environment so a man can be vulnerable, just like I can get a man to be vulnerable on the first phone call. But that's a lot of practice. But the second date is such a great time for you to start to practice how you can create a safe environment, because men become vulnerable when they feel safe. So how can you go a little bit, not too deep, because it's just second date, but how can you go a little bit deep so he can tell you some things about him that are vulnerable? Because men connect and they fall in love when they're vulnerable. So that's what you start to do on date number two. You're also observing how he's treating you, how he's asking information about you. If all he's asking you is what's your favorite sex position, that's a big red flag. That's a man who just wants to stay very shallow and he's not willing to go deep. By the second date, you will see that men are willing to have a little bit more deeper conversation, because now they're trying to see, okay, can our worlds actually come together? Is this somebody that I want to have a long-term potential relationship with, or is this just a wham bam, thank you ma'am, I'm out of there? Okay, so he's assessing you, you're assessing him too. Make sure that he is interested in you. He's asking you deep questions about you as well. But again, limit what it is that you're saying. This is not the time you start saying all your horror stories and how you were raped as a kid and how your parents were very toxic. A bit too much, a bit too heavy. It might chase him away. It doesn't mean that you cannot talk about those things later. Later is the key word, okay? So at this point, you're talking about goals, you're talking about values, you're talking about lifestyle, you're talking about family dynamics, all of those things. You're getting to know him deeper and you're creating a safe space for him to be a little bit vulnerable with you so that you can connect. So some of the red flags on the second date are, like if he just avoids deep conversation, like there's no reason why, right? At this second date, he should be a little bit more calm, a little bit more relaxed. And if he's somebody who's serious, he should be letting you know, not necessarily with you, but he should be letting you know that, for me, I'm looking for a long-term relationship. I'm looking for a committed relationship where I want to get married, right? He should be clear on what his desires and what he's looking for is. On the first date, yeah, he might have said anything, but by the second date, he should be a little bit clearer on what it is. If your values don't align, believe it, right? If your gut is telling you this guy, just believe it. Like if he's super religious and you're not, like chances are it's not really going to work out. So again, go back to your ideal man list, see which ones were top of the list for you, the non-negotiables. You want to make sure that they're aligned, because if they're not, you're just going to have too many issues in the relationship. Okay, and then pay attention to what he's focusing on. If he's focusing on negative things, his exes, his job, his boss, his this, his that, how the world has done him bad, how Donald Trump and Elon Musk want to take over the world, that's usually a red flag. But again, you decide, you gauge properly, but make sure that you're assessing the day as you proceed. Make sure that you're not starting to get too emotionally attached. I find that by date number 2, a lot of women start to think about the wedding day. Some people do it on first date, right? But by date number 2, women start to catch feelings. So you want to be careful that you're not catching feelings and overlooking some of these red flags or the green flags, because again, there might be things that might make you want to move forward. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that, and then you're starting to catch feelings very quickly. And I think for me, by date number 2 is really where you need to slow things down even more, right? Some people ask me, Joan, when should you kiss the person? I'm like, I don't know that there's a hard and fast rule about it. I think it's what happens when you kiss the person that's more important. Like, some people can share a kiss and it's a kiss with no feelings being caught, right? It just means I'm physically attracted to you and I've kissed you and it's okay. It doesn't mean I'm going to go delete my dating profile. I'm going to start calling myself your girlfriend. I'm going to start having expectations of you. No, we just shared a kiss and that's it. So if you know that you cannot kiss without catching feelings, I would say slow it down. Wait till at least date number 3. But if you know that, I can handle it, I can kiss you and still walk away, then you go ahead and do it. You're stronger than most women. So if you're somebody who starts to catch feelings very quickly and you fall in love too quickly, and before you know it, you're dreaming about happily ever after, then I would say start dating other people. Make sure that you're dating other people, you're talking to other people to help you reduce the attachment to this particular person, right? If you find that you're thinking about him 24 hours a day, you can't sleep, you're there every time he texts you, you want to message him immediately, because I want you at this point to be in control. Like, I want you to be calm and relaxed. Like, if he calls, answer, but don't feel the need to rush and drop everything just to answer him. If he texts, give it a few hours. Like, just don't stop your life because of him. Not at this point, it's too soon. So if you find that you're getting too invested too quickly, slow it down. Start going on dates with other people. Limit the physicality, like don't start kissing or having sex with the person. Just make sure that you're slowing everything down, you're pacing yourself, and you're assessing, because the goal is to make sure that you're with the right person, not just you're with a person. If you want to just be with anybody, you go ahead and do you, right? So make sure that you're slowing things down by date number 2. Okay, so date number 2 to date number 3. What is the timeline between both? Again, it depends. I would say 3 to 7 days, right? Some people wait 2 weeks, 5, whatever. But just don't do it the next day, because you do it the next day, especially if you start to catch feelings, chances that you're going to sleep with him. Okay, so just slow it down, give it some space, give it some gap. Again, men fall in love in absence. Men love the absence. Men love the mystery. Men love when they can feel safe and feel vulnerable. Men love when they're the ones thinking about you all the time, and like they can't reach you. You're not as accessible. You're not there all the time waiting for him to call you, right? Allow him to initiate contact. Don't be the first to say, "Hey, good morning. What are you up to? What do you have for breakfast? What are you doing tonight?" Like, don't do that. When am I seeing you? I miss you. I can't. No, don't do that. Like, just stay in your strength. Stay in your power. He knows you're there. He's probably thinking about you too. Allow him to lead. Remember, this is all about attracting a man so that he can pursue you. So you don't want to be the one chasing him all over the place. It's not attractive to men. So allow him to pursue you. Allow him to initiate messages, even though you've had 2 dates. Allow him to still initiate. It doesn't mean that you cannot initiate once in a while. You can do that. But if you're the one always initiating, that is a problem. That's a telltale sign, and trust me, eventually he's going to be bored and he's going to move on. Okay, so date number 3. Oh my God, we're running out of time. Date number 3, what are you looking for? Well, now we're heading to the top of the pyramid. So if that's where you want to be, and that's the kind of relationship that you're looking for, then by date number 3, you need to be looking at things a little bit more in depth. It might be difficult for you to figure out some of these things, because some of these things really take time, right? But you need to be looking beyond just the physical, looking just beyond the lifestyle. Now you're looking about what are the things that he really values in life? Like, how does he want to make an impact in the world? And there are questions in my program. I share with you some of the questions that you can ask to kind of see what his long-term goals are, what his long-term visions are. Like, what are some of the causes that he supports? Like, where does he see himself in the future? Where does he see the world? Just a little bit deeper, right? You can choose to have fun dates in between, right? You can go skiing, go skydiving, whatever it is. That's not the time for these kind of conversations. But when you're sitting down together and just having a quiet time and going deep, you want to go deep because you want to make sure that whoever it is you're going to invest your time in is aligned with you at a soul level. So you need to know where they're at, right? You need to be able to create a space where you can go deep with your questions and really just hold that space for him, to be honest. I find that men, when they're vulnerable, it's harder for them to lie. They're just honest. Like, men seek women who they can be vulnerable with, because especially for masculine men, they're so busy being masculine all the time. When they find a woman where they can just share their fears, right? Share their dreams that scare them, as well as their fears, and some of the areas where they struggle in life, that really gets him. Like, he really becomes magnetized to you. Like, he can't wait to have you as part of his world and just have you to listen to him and create that space for him to thrive. He doesn't necessarily need you to solve his problems. So if you find yourself trying to say, oh, but you could do it this way, no, that's not what you want to be doing at this point in time. You're just listening. You're just reeling him in. You're giving him that space to invite him into your world and into your life, and men love that. Right. So date number 3 is where you're now looking a little bit deeper. Now we've gone through the whole, okay, am I physically attracted to him? Yes. Do we have things in common? Our lifestyles compatible? Yes. Now we're looking at, okay, so can we build a long-term life together? What are some of the long-term dreams and goals that he has for his life? What are his worldviews, right? Dig into that stuff. If by date number 3, he's still shallow with his conversations, he's still focused on, I can't wait to get your clothes off, run. That is not somebody that wants to build a deep, meaningful relationship. He just wants to get laid. If he avoids talking about deep conversations that have to, so I don't expect any man to want to come into you by date number 3. Some men do, but not a lot of men will do that. But at least they should be talking about what they're looking for. Like, it should be crystallized. So if by date number 3 you still find yourself guessing, what does he want? Keep it moving. Next, on to the next one, right? So deep conversations, crystallized commitment, what exactly he's looking for, right? His actions have to start matching his words. If they don't match, if he's very flaky, if some of the values that he said he claims to have, he doesn't abide by it, like if he says, I'm respectful, I'm kind, integrity, like, you start to see these things playing out. If the values are not aligning, then you have your answer. Just know what to do. At the end of date number 3, you should know. Not from a I'm in love butterflies feeling, and a deep knowing, because you have your list. You can go sit down with your list. Does he align with what it is that I'm looking for? And you can make an informed decision, right? Chemistry, check. Compatibility, check. Conscious alignment, you may not be sure, but you would have a gut feeling that, yeah, this is somebody that has the same long-term vision that I have for my soul evolution. So that will be a check too, and then you can move forward. So let me know with you in the chat, in the comment, where do you usually start falling in love? Like, look, trust me, a lot of women fall in love after the first date. Not in love, but they have a crush. Like, I'm guilty of having a crush. I didn't had a crush until this year. I didn't have a crush since maybe my teenage years. So I know that feeling of just being like, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about him. So I know. But you want to make sure that as much as possible, you're able to control it. You're able to lean back, stay in your power, and not be too quick to start falling in love with a person to the point where you're not even hearing what they're saying. You're just filtering and telling yourself whatever stories about him that you want. You're getting sold on the potential of him or the idea of him, as opposed to what he's really telling you and what he's really showing you. So you really want to be careful, especially those first 2 dates. And then by date number 3, you should be a little bit more calmer, where you can make a better informed decision about him. Okay, so maybe now I'm going to share with you some tips of what not to do after a first date. And I say this because, like I was saying, a lot of women get so carried away after the first date, right? So like I said, kiss, don't kiss, depends on you. This is at an individual level. If you can walk away after a kiss, you go ahead and do it. If you know that if I kiss him, I'm going to start catching feelings, then don't do it. Hold back, right? There's going to be many times to kiss him. After the first date, please don't be the one reaching out, right? If he doesn't check up on you when you get home, just leave it. Don't feel the need the next one to say, hey, thanks for yesterday. No, you already thanked him yesterday. Why are you texting him the next day? Right? Just lean back and allow him to pursue you. Let him be the one initiating conversation after the first, second, and third date. Right? Don't be in a hurry to become too exclusive. Like, there are men who will try to love bomb you on date number one and be like, oh, I want us to be exclusive. Like, don't fall into that trap. Like, no, that's love bombing. It's a no. So make sure that you slow things down. Even if he's trying to rush you, make sure that you're able to slow things down. And like I said, if you're not able to just do it with just seeing one person, please go on multiple dates with other people. That would help you to not be as emotionally invested too quickly. So go on other dates. Don't do anything physical. If you want to, that's up to you too. But I would say don't get too physical with so many people. And just make sure that you take your time before you agree to be exclusive. He might ask you, but you might say, you know what, I still need to get to know you some more, just to make sure that we align. And I will let you know when I'm ready. So don't allow him to rush you. Make sure that you only agree to be exclusive when you are truly ready, right? Don't start planning the wedding day from the first, second, or third date, right? Just calm yourself down. Don't start thinking he's the one. Oh my God. No. Calm yourself down. It was a great date. We get it. But again, remember, the goal is to make sure that he matches your ideal man list. So I'll tell you a little bit about rotational dating before I end today. Like, with my Italian stallion, at that time, I was like, for the first time, I'm going to practice rotational dating, but I'm going to let all the men know. So I was dating 4 people at that time, and I let every single one of them know. And it was the same, like, I'm dating 4 people, you're one of them. I'm going to date 4 of you till the point in time where I make my decision. And I thought they were going to run away. Like, people told me, like, Joan, you're crazy. Like, no man's going to stay. They're going to think you're a player. They're going to think you're this. Not one of them ran away. Everybody said, sure, that's fine. Made the best man win. So it took me like 8 weeks to make a decision, but I finally did. And I told the others, thank you. I've made a great decision. Good decision for myself. You're a great guy. It was a pleasure getting to know you. Until this day, like, the other 3 are still constantly checking in. They're like, if you're ever single, if you ever want to be connected and try again, we're here for you. But yeah, for me, I get to know great guys, but no, I made my decision at that time. So don't be afraid to rotational date. It is not a bad thing. It is, like, even if you're sleeping with all of them, I don't think that's bad, but it's up to you, right? Everybody decides. I would not recommend you do that, but it just helps you to stay grounded so that you're not catching feelings too quickly, right? So you're able to control your emotions, you're able to look at things more objectively and make an informed decision, because that's what we want to do. You've got your man list. We want to be able to use it, right? We want to use that man list. We don't want to make premature decisions based on information that we don't have. Okay, so here's your action step for today. I want you to look back at some of the past dates that you've been on, and what were some of the patterns that you saw. Like, what was happening after date number 1, after date number 2, after date number 3? Or were you just date number 1 and that's the end, right? When did you start catching feelings? When did things start to fall apart? I want you to, because again, there's usually a pattern, and when you observe the pattern, you can start to work on those things and get better at those things. So it's very important that you're able to look back and reflect on, okay, this is what happened, right? Maybe I was talking too much, I was giving too much, I was texting him 50,000 times after the first date, I was the one trying to make plans to see him again. What were some of those things that you did that may have led to the relationship not moving forward? I want to know what some of your experiences are. And based on what you've heard today, what are some of the changes that you're going to implement to make sure that you're staying grounded, right, in your feminine power, and being able to slow down the relationship so that you can make fully informed decisions. So that is it. Wow. Day number 5. Oh my God, it feels like I just started today. But this is fabulous. And you might be asking yourself, okay, Joan, well, you've given us 5 days, but now what next? What next? Well, you can be a part of my community. And today you can be part of my community. It's called the Aligned Love Academy. And it's an online program, so anybody, anywhere in the world can join. It is completely step-by-step, right? It's a step-by-step program that will help you attract your aligned love into your life. And as you can imagine, it covers everything and then more and then some of everything that I've discussed with you this week. I go into deeper details of everything that I've been sharing. You have live sessions with me, you have one-on-one sessions with me, right? I help you get crystal clear on what are some of those mindset blocks that are holding you back. What are some of those stories, those narratives, or some of those toxic patterns that keep attracting the same kind of people? Like, I make sure that we uncover all of those things and you step into the dating world with the right mindset, with the right energy, so that you can effortlessly attract your dream man. But then, who is your dream man? So I help you crystallize exactly what your dream man looks like. It will be different for you. It's different for me. It will be different for you too. So I help you make sure that you're able to really, really gain clarity around who your dream man is. And then, of course, like I said on day number 2, who do you need to become to be able to attract him? So how do you embody this dream man identity so that you can effortlessly attract him into your life, right? And then we will work on how you can date with confidence, right? So everything I'm talking about, how you can show up on dates, how you can transition to offline dating, how you show up, how you can encourage him to chase you, right? To book the next date, to book the third date, right? How you can have those deep conversations so that you can assess and make sure that he's somebody that you want to move forward with, and you're not going to waste your time. And then 3 months later, you're like, oh my God, Joan, I can't believe he did that. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. So I work with you step by step, every step of the way, to make sure that you're able to step into your feminine power. You can become that magnetic, irresistible woman that I know you already are. We just need to tweak a few things to make sure that you're showing up as the best and highest version of yourself, so that you can effortlessly attract the man of your dreams into your life. Like, I shared the story of Mr. T on day number 1, and so I know it happened for me first date on after going back on the dating apps, right? I cannot promise you that you're gonna have exactly the same results, but I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to attract your dream man quickly as well, right? So if you want to get started, if you're just tired, you're frustrated, you're like, oh my God, I hate the dating apps, it's not working. The dating apps work, offline dating works, dating events work, everything works. You just have to make sure that you have the right information, you have the right guidance that can help you achieve this pretty quickly. My biggest thing in this world is love is the biggest gift of them all, like, period. There's nothing that compares to love. And even if you had to go through pain, you had to do whatever, it doesn't matter. For me, it is worth it. It is worth it to get the kind of love that I'm talking about. It is so worth it. Don't think of this as, oh my God, I'm paying money to learn how to date. No, you're investing in yourself so that you can be the best version of yourself, so that you can get to know yourself. You can master yourself. Only then can you, one, figure out who it is that you want, who you deserve, who you're worthy of, and then you can attract that person into your life. And how many of us know that you can meet the most amazing man today and self-sabotage, like destroy that relationship in 5 minutes? So we want to make sure that we're catching those things, because sometimes you cannot see, but somebody else can see it. And I have that gift. I can intuitively see some of the struggles that you're having and help you to navigate that, so that we can limit those kind of situations where you meet a great man and because of whatever baggage it is that you're carrying, you just ruin it before it's had a chance to get off the ground. So that is what it is. This is an investment in yourself. So if you feel, I'm tired, I don't want to wait anymore, like it's been 6 months, it's been 6 years, it's been whatever, right? It doesn't take a long time. Invest in yourself, start doing the work today, so that you can effortlessly attract your dream. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to attract him in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to have that. And I'll be there with you every step of the way. And I'm not teaching you something that I didn't know, something I haven't done. No, I'm teaching you something that I still did a few weeks ago, right? And it still worked for me. If it can work for me, it can definitely work for you. So I want to invite you, if you're tired, you don't want to waste time anymore, you're ready to meet your dream man, I'm going to put the link in the comments of the video. You can join for $97 today. It will never, ever, 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 ever again be this price. I can guarantee that. I'm taking down this price tomorrow, like, period. You have 24 hours to join at $97 a month. It's a subscription-based model. You can cancel at any time. Once you pay, you'll get access to my videos. You'll get the invitation to join my live calls, and we can get started right away. I've put it at this price because honestly, I feel like love, like I said, is such a beautiful, amazing gift, and I want everybody to have it. Like, if I could give this away, I'd give it away for free. But we know that this is an investment in yourself, and it will help you get the results that maybe you've been struggling for many years for. Maybe there's just one little thing that you might not be seeing that I may be able to see that will just turn things around pretty quickly. Whatever the case may be, you will learn. You will learn about yourself. You will learn about the man that you're looking for, and you will learn about dating. You'll become a master in dating, and you'll be like, oh, so this is what I wasn't doing correctly. Oh, this is how men react when I say certain things. You will be a better human being, period, through this process. So I invite you to join me. Join me in the academy. Like, it's a beautiful space. Got many beautiful women in there already on this journey, here to hold your hand, and we just keep growing and evolving together. This is a community, a safe space where I have a lot of experience. I've dated a lot of frogs, and I've found lots of princes, and I want to be able to share that with you as well and help you on your own unique journey, because I know no two women are the same, but I have a gift of being able to see you for who you are and being able to guide you so that you can navigate your own unique path to get to your own end where you have your dream soulmate. Soulmate. We're looking for soul aligned connections. So that's it. We have come to the end of the 5 days. I feel like I don't want to go. It's about 40 minutes now, and I'm just like, oh my God, do I have to end now? Do I have to end now? So if you're sitting on the fence and you're like, okay, you want to have a call with me, I will also post a link. If you wanted to book a call with me so we can talk about it and see if this is for you, if you're aligned with the program, or if you just want to sign up, you're ready to get started. We have a class tomorrow, so if you get started today, you'll be in the class tomorrow. But so if you're ready, I'm going to post the link. Join me. This was amazing. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It's always a pleasure to share what it is I've experienced, what it is I've seen, what it is I've been through, because I think that's how we get better, right? The more we share, the more we help each other, we all get better, we all get stronger together. My goal is for the entire human race to be able to find their soul aligned love, because I know that when you actually are in love, your health gets better, your business gets better, your career gets better, you look better, you glow better, you thrive better. Like, everything about you becomes better. Why wouldn't you want to invest in that? Okay, all right, I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you all the best. I will see you all soon. Reach out to me, send me a comment, send me an email, send me a DM, and let's get you started on your journey. Until next time, watch out for my next challenge. It's going to be coming up pretty soon. Yeah, let's stay connected. All right, have an amazing weekend. Thank you, everyone. Bye.